The real issue is the inability to figure out who has what interests in a property after we have started blanking things out of the land records. The core problem is that the law that allowed the redaction didn't address how it was supposed to interplay with the laws that protect property rights. The laws that protect property rights are all based on this notion of constructive notice, that I can figure out who owns what from the public records. And once you have redacted, obliterated that information, we don't know if you're still protected or not. So if hypothetically the police officer bought from a person and that person later got a judgment against them, after it was redacted, it doesn't show a conveyance of that property into the police officer. So does that judgment attach to the prior owner? Well, it does, but does the prior owner's property get attainted? What if the prior owner gives a mortgage to that he's already sold or sells it again? We don't know how those will play out. As title professionals in the trenches, we've got to recognize that when we find something that's been redacted or having restricted access to it, depending on the type of law you have in a given state, we've got to run that up the flagpole to your underwriting team, because most of these laws simply say we can redact. It doesn't say how the courts are to address the property rights issues that will come about because of it. The Florida process contemplates that when you're doing your search and you find a restricted instrument, it will show as a restricted instrument. And unless you are on that approved list, they won't give it to you. And you've got to go a step further and certify that I'm accessing this information for these legitimate purposes, and the protected party gets notice of it. So they would hire an independent trustee, say WFG is trustee of the 123 North Main Street Trust. And that doesn't give any bad guys notice of who lives there. We need to be prepared for these laws as they come up and be willing to get in front of them and explain the issues, the collateral damage, the unintended consequences that are going to come about because of it.